It is the end of the month, and that means it is time to look over all of our accounts and see how we did this month. See if there's any updates we want to do, any changes to our investing strategy and to our investing philosophy, as well as just get an idea as to how we have done over the last 30, 28, 31 days. And so today is a financial journey update. I'm going to be going over and sharing with you all how we did this particular month, how much money we invested in all of our investment accounts, and how we got to $117,000 in our investment accounts. Here I'm going to show you in just a moment. If you are new to this channel is all about documenting our journey to becoming financially free. My wife and I started this process back in January of 2021, so we're about a year into this, a year and a quarter, in documenting the process of becoming financially free. And every single month I talk about cryptocurrency, custodial accounts, our taxable brokerage account, as well as retirement accounts. So with that, every single week, I give an update on the individual account and some type of topic about that. So if that is of interest to you, hit that bell notification so that you will be notified whenever I release a video. And I typically release videos every single Sunday. So with that being said, let's get right on into it. So I'm going to kind of give you an update as to what kind of major things got accomplished over this particular month, and how we are looking at how we got to that $117,000 mark at the end of March. So in our crypto portfolio, we had a major accomplishment. We actually got 13 blocks in our chain link. I am going to be doing a future video on kind of explaining how I do our staking, because I stake a little bit different. I stake over 13 blocks over a 12-week period, so that every single week I am able to stake a brand new block and be able to take advantage of some of that volatility that we see in the markets. And staking is a tad bit different than dividends. But in a future video, I'll go a lot more into detail of that. But it's a major accomplishment for us to be able to get 13 blocks at the minimum block requirement, which is 7.5 on crypto.com. This particular quarter two of 2022, we're going to be increasing those blocks from 7.5 coins to 8 coins, which isn't a big increase, but looking really to build up that coin number in order to be able to stake 10 coins in block or in quarter 3. So that's that. For the IRA contributions, I have $550 left for our traditional IRA for the year of 2021. For 2021, I didn't do the $500 a month contributions like how I'm doing now. So in 2022, I'm not going to have to play this catch-up going into next year, but I did have to play catch-up for 2021. And so I got $550, and I'll be getting that completed in the first full week of April. And that will be behind us, and 2021 contributions will be a total of $6,000, and that will be completed. On our taxable brokerage account, we were able to lower our cost basis from $76.20 to $76.01. Now, that's not a big change, 21 cents, but on a $100,000 portfolio, whenever you're able to bring down that cost basis in any amount, I look at that as a positive because of our long-term mindset with this. In the short term, whenever you're bringing down your cost basis, that does mean that you're losing money, because you wouldn't be able to bring down your cost basis unless either the stocks or shares are selling at a lower value and or those dividends now are being reinvested. But as of right now, the size of our portfolio, the dividends aren't large enough to really have a major impact on lowering our cost basis. So the only way that we can lower our cost basis at this particular moment is just being able to buy those shares at lower amounts, which means in the short term that we are losing money, but then in the long term that gives us much more of that compounding effect and having the ability to earn interest on top of interest in the long term. We have two portfolios within that taxable brokerage account. So if you've been following the channel, we have a growth portfolio, then we have a buy and hold portfolio. So I really, as of right now, don't really add any money to the growth portfolio, except for this month. Things in the ETFs that we were invested in were just getting way too low. And so we invested an additional $850 into our growth portfolio, in addition to the $3,300 that we did into our buy and hold portfolio. So that was $850 between bets and then AIQ. And that actually, which was really funny, brought the cost basis down to both ETFs to $28.95. Never seen that before, but that was pretty cool. Bets were down significantly. AIQ were only down a couple percentage points, but really like both of these ETFs and look to be involved in these in for the long term, and just didn't want to see some of these prices pass us by. I used some of the leftover dollars that we had. So every single month, once we start approaching that third month of the quarter and dividends are starting to be paid out again, I never like to take the dividend monies that was paid from the previous quarter and go into a new quarter. So I like to use that money up. So we had, I want to say, about $100 left from quarter four dividends of 2021 that I used to purchase shares of ONEQ going into March of 2022. So, and then, of course, we got a bunch of dividends issued to us in March of 22 to build up that cash that sits on the sidelines for any additional opportunities. So use that to buy ONEQ, which is our cash savings park, another growth ETF for us that we are just looking to hold on for the long term and build a nice size position in ONEQ. The next thing that I was kind of proud of me, and this is not something that I actually acted out on, but just a mentality and a thought process and being able to see different corners of the market, was, if you recall in March, Brent crude prices were really skyrocketing. We had that time when the Russia-Ukraine war was just at the beginning and oil prices were jumping up to $130 a barrel, $135 a barrel. And I didn't have the cash nor the knowledge just yet to really act out on this thought. But I did know that and begin to think about that when you start seeing price movements of this speed going up so fast, as well as reaching all-time highs over multiple years, you start realizing, start saying, hey, this is a great opportunity if you can withstand this volatility period to buy into oil prices at the levels that they were at and begin to short them. Now, in doing some very brief research and opportunities that I can get in, I only found options. And I personally am not too comfortable with doing options just yet in any of our portfolios. And if I was going to short, I would want to be able to short something that was more of a inverse position that I can just hold on like an ETF. So if there was a possible, and maybe there might be, again, I just didn't do much research and I hadn't gotten totally involved in this, because even if I did find it, I didn't want to act on it just yet. But if I could purchase some type of inverse oil crude price that as oil prices failed and that inverse position that I purchased went up, that would be something that I would be more interested in sort of a buy and hold a position instead of a options position that I had to get the timing just right. And so that is, again, where I was saying just picking and looking at corners of the market that are, possibilities to invest in the future once more knowledge is gained by you, and just opening up your thought pattern and process to seeing, different options. A major accomplishment for me, I hadn't funded the account just yet, but I opened my daughter's brokerage account. She's going to be born in June, so I don't want to waste any time or any energy. Once she's born, I want to start investing in that $100 a month into her custodial account, which is what we are doing for my son, investing $100 a month into his brokerage account on a monthly basis. So with that being said, that's pretty much all of the portfolio updates. It was somewhat of a pretty easy month. Nothing really major, but invested in all of the different accounts. And so let me show you kind of how that all broken down. The first two I have here is Elliot's account, and then my second child's account. We don't have a name for it just yet, so that's why it's called second child. But as you can see here, the account value at the end of March was $1,800. The dollars deposited. Again, I only do $100 a month into Elliot's investment account. Those are his gains, percent gains. Elliot actually received his first dividends for 2022 of 42 cents. So he's little over 18 months old, and he's getting his first dividend check, and hopefully fast forward to once he's 18 years old, and these dividends are some significant money for him and able to pay for college books or something like that to make our lives a little bit easier once that time comes where we actually really need this money. Of course, we are reinvesting all 42 cents, and the next goal for Elliot's account is to get to $2,500. As you can see, he got to $1,000 of May of last year, and so he's been kind of in this stuck period. He was doing really well until December came. And the market started turning, and then we, with the inflation news, and then Ukraine kind of just kept beating his account up. But it's actually fine. We got a long runway, and I have no problems adding to his portfolio when this stuff is down, because I know I got 18 years, 15 years before I really need this money. Now, these are the three main accounts, and these are the three accounts that got us to $117,000. The brokerage account, the retirement account, and the crypto account. As you can see there, that is the account values for all three accounts. Those are how many dollars we deposited into those three accounts. The value gains, the value percentages, which really stood out, and what I want to point out to you is you look at the brokerage account for the dividends for this particular quarter. We received $85 versus last year at this time, this particular quarter 1 in 2021, we only got $10. So that is a significant increase, 8 times on a year-over-year basis what we received last year at this time. What is funny enough, though, and I now want to take you over to the crypto side. If you see there, I have dividend/staking. In crypto, you receive staking rewards. And so the staking rewards for our crypto portfolio accumulated to $5.88 for the week. Now, you might laugh at that and say that's no money, and it's not. It's not life-changing money in any kind of manner. But what is interesting, if you take $5.88 times 12, which is somewhere over about $65 or so for the quarter, if you notice on a $10,000 portfolio, I am receiving $65 or so in dividends and staking rewards. Yet on the brokerage account, that's $94,000, is receiving $85. So I am basically receiving the same amount of rewards on the crypto side as I am on the brokerage account, yet the brokerage is 9 times as large as the crypto account. Just some food for thought, and like I said, I'm going to be doing a video here in the near future on how I do the staking and explaining that a little bit more into detail. If you can leave in the comments down below, let me know how many or how much money you received in quarterly dividends this particular quarter, and if dividends are an important factor in your investing philosophy. I'd like to have some discussion on that and talk with you all regarding dividends and the importance that you see in dividends in your portfolio. So leave a comment down below, let me know, and I'll definitely respond back to you. And then finally, these are the next goals that we are going to be making celebrations for. We reached 100,000 in the brokerage account on November 4th, and as you can see here, we have just been moving sideways/down in the brokerage account. We have not actually gotten back over the $100,000, which is fine. Been adding $3,000 every single month, so December, January, February, March, that's $12,000 of just bringing down that cost basis month over month over month. So very excited about that and looking to see that upside in the future. Retirement, the next goal is getting to $15,000, which hopefully I can be here around the month, or excuse me, around the summertime. And then finally, the next goal for the crypto portfolio is $25,000, and we actually just hit $10,000 in the month of March. So I'm going to be updating or uploading a video on our goal every single time when we hit a financial goal, $10,000 or whatever the number may be. I spend $100, or excuse me, not $100. I spend 1% of the portfolio. So if you look in our journey to financial freedom, I have a video on the financial goal that I did when our portfolio hit $100,000. I'll link that video up above so that you can see that one. But the next one that we have hit was just this crypto one. We haven't hit any goals since then. So 1% of $10,000 is $100. Not much money. But that is the whole point, that at the beginning it's not much, and as time goes and as those portfolios and those values grow, you can then begin to do bigger things. So with that being said, I thank you very much for looking at this video. If this video brought you any value, please consider sharing the video, as well as take a look at the last video that I just did on the 4 reasons why we invest in ETFs. And I look forward to seeing you next Sunday on a future video. Thank you so much. Talk to you soon.